Hello and welcome back. This week we're going to have a quick look at trying Hornby's RS.603, the local diesel set. This was only available in 1970. We have it here on the carpet being powered by a Barclay controller, which is RP14. So here we have the RP14 power controller. These are also called the Barclay. Now these are available from around 1967 through to 1970. Just the time frame of our train set that we're looking at today. Just look at this wonderful label stuck on the inside of the box there. Apparently, due to some type of tax ruling in the 60s and early 70s, the controllers were never advertised in the main catalogues. Separate leaflets were produced. Sadly, I have none of these. I was going to demonstrate the uncoupling ramp which was included in this set, but as you see there, it seems to slow the locomotive down every time it goes over it. I can't really see why it does that. I mean, it just pushes the wheel away from the track or slightly lifts the model, I'm not quite sure. So I took it out and we'll deal with one of those another day. So being 1970, this set comes with a System 6 track, although I think this box was possibly designed before System 6 was being considered for this set, because that's just a sticky paper label applied to the box. There we have the set number, RS.603. It doesn't have the words local diesel set anywhere on the box, I think. They just use that name in the catalogue. We'll just have a swift look over the box here. Now originally I think this would have been shrink wrapped, but I've just added a sheet of cellophane in there just to try and protect the models. We can clearly see here that the packet's been broken open at some point to be used, which is what these things were for, obviously. The really bold trying Hornby logo there. And we'll just have a swift look across the set here. You can see the two models sitting there in their VAT form packaging, and we've got that System 6 track and the power clip there, and over there on the left we've got the uncoupling ramp just hiding under the cardboard. And like the Intercity set with the illuminated coaches we saw last week, we've got accessories printed along the edge of the box, which I think is really quite a nice idea. It really does make it a complete piece of packaging. We have a little damage on this corner of the set too, where it was opened. We're moving along to the right here in big letters. Requires power controller. I mean, you'd just never get one in this box, would you? Just moving along the top edge here. Start your trying Hornby system with one of these layouts. And again, this is sort of referring to track packs, I think. Got those great diagrams, just like we had on the side of the Intercity set. Only this time we don't have a list of the contents, although the box is a little smaller. And again, on the back of the box, or the bottom of the box, depending on how you view it, we've got these track plans again. Just showing how you can expand your system, and there's wonderful products that can be added to make things even more exciting. Just a terrific piece of packaging. This bright yellow vacuum form packaging holds everything neat and tidy within the basic box. We've got 4 sections of first radius System 6 track there with a single section, the straight track underneath, and we've got both parts of the model sitting in the centre of the box there. On either side there we've got the power clip on the right, and we've got the uncoupling ramp with the marker on the left. And above the model we've got another 4 sections first radius System 6 track with a single section of straight track hiding below. System 6 came along in 1970, but from what I read it was originally going to be called Series 5. Just have a look at these great pages from the 1970 catalogue, the year this track was introduced. There's a great deal being promised here on page 26 and 27 of this new track system. Scale sleeper length, spacing and rail sections, positive track end joining, keeping a slot for clip fit accessories, solid drawn steel rail for the magnadhesion that Triumph had developed to give you that extra pulling power. The same geometry as Super 4, so the track could be joined together and kept on the same layout, although you would need a converter track. And keeping the same 3 radii that were previously available on Super 4, plus the addition of flexible track. To join these 2 track systems together, you would have needed a converter track, R.576. These were made for a number of years, and we can see that the fish plates are on the same rail, and the half sleepers accommodate the half sleeper ends on the System 6 and the Super 4. Just look at the difference in the rail height from one end to the other. And look at that rail section on the System 6 end, it's very fine. and swing it round and have a look how thick and coarse that is on the Super 4 end. We'll just pop that down, and there is 2 pieces of track. Just look at the weight of this Super 4 track and look how light and fine this System 6 track looked. So it must have been a good step forward in terms of modelling at the time, but possibly quite disappointing when you found that your collection of models wouldn't run very well on it. The wheels just bang along the sleeper chairs here. Just look at the thickness in the track, the difference is there. And there's quite a difference, isn't it? So we'll just pop that down. And there we've got the same clip fit type accessories which were available on Super 4 were adapted to fit the System 6 track. And there's that uncoupling ramp which was causing me problems earlier. I'm not sure whether it does affect the back-to-back or whether it just causes the train to slow down because of the friction when it catches on the underneath side. There's some more investigation there, I think. I'll just pop that down. And here we've got one of those first radius curves, R.576. Just look at that moulding. It's quite coarse, isn't it? You see the round edges between the sleepers. So the moulding wasn't very crisp. Here we can see trying Hornby, made in England. I don't think it's got the catalogue number on the bottom of it, but it does have D2 on there. I'm not quite sure what that refers to. And the fish plates are interesting in that they attach themselves to the track bed rather than attaching themselves to the rail. So that could have been quite complicated once that rail join was damaged, and actually removing the rail and refitting another one. Indeed, I'm not quite sure if that's possible. I'm not sure how long they stuck with that. Certainly the contemporary System 6 track has completely done away with that method of rail joiners. She seems to be a very smooth running model, although we don't get the full sound effect of those ribbed wheels on the steel track running down here on the carpet. The power car and the dummy car were sold separately, as well as being available in the RS.603 set. They're sold as a 2-car set, R.576, and they were available from 1970 to 71, just 1 year longer than the set was available. We'll just have a swift look down the side of it, and from what I can see it's the same moulding as the earlier green version, which went out of production in 1967, I believe. Front end spread open yellow. It's quite a crude spray mask there. It's bled around it. We've got metal buffers just pushed into the plastic bodywork there. We've got some lighting detail, and I believe that should have had a sticker on there with the name Derby on it. I don't know whether they came on a separate sheet and you could fit them yourselves, or whether they came factory fitted, but they seem to have been mislaid over the years. We've got the running number M79079. We've got that lovely detail just moulded in. Quite basic models, but they're very good effect. We've got a lovely underframe detail there, which is different detail to the dummy car. And a fair bit of detail to be had on the end there, just enough to make it look reasonably realistic from viewing distance. We'll just pop that one down. Have a swift look at the old dummy car here. Again, just like the other one, it has seating in white inside. We've got open axle boxes, just like the bogie on the power car. Sleeved wheels. Quite nice looking. Again, it is quite messy, that spraying, that yellow paintwork there. Quite crude. But there was 1970 after all. There we have that separately fitted underframe detail, which is different from the power car. Sleeved wheels on the end and open axle boxes. Running number M79632. Again, we've got that end detail there. Quite nice little things. We'll just pop them down and have a look, both of them side by side. So it is a different mould for the dummy car and the power car. We can see we have different detailing to towards the end of the power car here. The windows are a different configuration, and we have an extra door. Just looking at both ends together here, you can see this yellow paintwork is quite patchy. Just on the inside of these window frames here, you can see the spray paint hasn't quite gone all the way to the edges. It is very thin and the blue shows through. We've lost a little paintwork here and there as well, around this detail for the lights perhaps there. The old D-shaped couplings, and as we said earlier, we've got metal buffers just pushed into the plastic bodywork. Look at the ends of the models. Both of them seem to be very similar, if not identical. The roofs look to be the same on both models. The securing screw is in the same place, and I really love this colour. Just having a quick look at the underneath of both of the models here, we can clearly see the power bogie here. The old D-shaped coupling on this one is just held in place with a single screw, and the couplings are held in place with rivets on the other bogies. As we said earlier, we've got sleeved wheels with open axle boxes. Quite clearly we've got different underframe detail. I hadn't noticed this before, but the model numbers here, R.577, which is for the power car, and R.158 for the dummy car, appear on both models. Remember, these are two different body mouldings. I look back at the green version I have, and that's the same there too. In the early days when it was green, it was sold separately as two items. When the blue version, this one was released, it was sold as a two-car set, simply as R157C. The roofs just clip into the main part of the body moulding, and they're held securely in place with a single screw. We'll just pop that one down and we'll lift off the roof. Nice ribbed roof there, and I've already said I really like the colour of these. I've always thought that lighting may have been planned for these models when I see these holes here. Remember the EMU had illuminated head code. It could have been easily done perhaps. Maybe they were thinking of it but just never got around to it. The much later variant of this, which was released in green in 1975, R157, had that illuminated A7 head code, and that lasted till 1977. We'll just pop that down. We'll have a quick look inside it. We can see that sort of white creamy coloured seating unit there. We've got the glazing strip running down each side, and if we have a look there, we've got some cab detail. And we can see the motor there is just held in place with a single screw. We can just see the motor behind the seating unit there, and this is where the roof would be screwed in. I've just taken the motor bogie out so we can have a very swift look at it. It's in fairly tidy condition, hasn't had a lot of track time, this model, at all. There we've got those slightly finer scale ribbed wheels, which enables it to work on this newer System 6 track. Got the old collection plate held into place with two great big crosshead screws. The old pickup spring there goes onto the back of the two insulated wheels. These great big cogs mounted directly on the axles, driven by the worm at either end of the armature there. There's the old D-shaped coupling, just held into place with a single flathead screw. And here we've got the magnet sitting behind there between the two pole pieces. Fairly powerful motor, very, very reliable. And to make things more exciting, I've added a tunnel. R.576. This became available in 1964. Now you could have used anything to make a tunnel, a pile of books or under a chair for instance. The tunnel comes in this really terrific box. They first became available in 1964 and I believe they're still in production today, although I think the packaging may have changed somewhat. Just look at that brilliant picture on there. There we've got the words tunnel and the catalogue number R576. The box is a little bit battered and bruised. It seems to have been resealed with sellotape at some time in its life there, but still quite a nice thing to have even in this condition. We've got that large white disc there where the price could have been written on. This type of packaging would have looked just terrific stacked up on the shelves in the toy shops. They've got their name on every surface. And here we have the other end of the box. Again, the effects of sellotape and being resealed over the years. Again, on the bottom of the box, Try and Hornby haven't missed a trick here. They're advertising another one of their very popular products, the R400 operating Royal Mail set. Just look at that wonderful line drawing there. A simply terrific thing, this box. It's just such a simple little thing. And I've always wanted to get this on the layout, but I've never been able to fit it in with all the catenary. It's three separate plastic mouldings, and we've got those lovely steps running up the side of the hill, and there we see them just dropping down the other side, and you can see both plastic moulded ends of the tunnel there. We'll just run around and have a look at that end there. The colours aren't that vivid, but then maybe it's faded over time, I'm not quite sure. Just having a swift look on the inside here, it seems to have been moulded out of a brown type plastic, so the outside's been sprayed up in those wonderful greens and blacks. Looking at the inside there, we've got Triang's name just down there, and made in England, and we can see those tunnel ends as this sort of, I don't know whether you call that riveting. The plastic's just come through and they've been heat sealed over perhaps. A really wonderful thing, very simple. The original green diesel railcar gained a centre car in 1961, R.576. Sadly this blue version never got one. I think we'll leave it there this week. I'm going to leave you with page 26 from the 1964 catalogue, the first year this terrific tunnel became available. And if you look back again next week, we'll have something else from this late Hornby period. Thanks for watching. Goodbye now.